Today the weather is not really good, so I decided to come to the park with my family. It's supposed to be spring, so it's raining every other day and sunny most of the days though, so which is good. I'm always excited for summer. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward for this summer. It's gonna be starting around November, so I'm really looking forward for summer. We were in the house the whole day, and I was like, hey, we can't be staying like this, so I'll just take them to the park. So here we are. I decided to talk about some of the questions some people have, if actually racism does exist in Australia. For me, I will say I haven't actually experienced that, but there's this occasion I remember when I was still new in Australia, and I used to go to karaoke. So there's this friend of mine. She was actually like, in her early 20s, and she was new as well in Australia. I wouldn't say she's Australian. She was new in Australia. She was from Europe. So I met her in karaoke, and I liked the way she was singing, and we kind of like, became friends. And she used to live um, way past my house from the city. And I was like, since she doesn't drive and I do drive, I'll be going and picking her up on Fridays, and then we go to karaoke. So there's this particular evening when I had, you know, I had picked her up. We were sitting, at a round table with a group of people. So I was the only, black lady in that at that table, and this girl needed to let me know that I'm actually, do you know you're the only black person in this table? And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Um, what does that have to do with anything? So that's the only thing I will say that, I experienced, but I can't say that it's Australian because her herself, she wasn't Australian. So I can't really blame that on Australia. So some things I've also observed, if you're sitting in a bus and there's two empty seats next to you, but there's a place where other people are sitting and it's actually squeezed up, and there's just one seat, and they're actually squeezed up. Someone entering into the bus, someone entering into the bus will choose to go and sit at that small, space, as opposed to come and sit next to you. So but for me, with that, I don't actually normally mind, because I like my free space. I like fresh air. So that kind of you know that kind of I don't mind, because I like my free space. Other than that, in terms of jobs, you know opportunities, I think everyone has the same opportunities here in Australia. If you're really hardworking and you know what you want and you're well driven, you'll get what you want. Australia is actually a land of opportunities, and everyone has an opportunity to grow if you're focused. But if you get here and you want to do all the wrong things, you want to party, yeah, you won't get far. The bills will drive you crazy. Here, houses, like, you know, when you're renting, you have to pay rent weekly, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap. The bills come every, like, you know, electricity bill comes every other month, mostly every 2 months, and it's not cheap. You pay gas as well every second month, not cheap. Transport, you know, buying fuel for the car, not cheap. So the bills will help you stay focused. And if you come here as an international student, definitely you will have to stay focused, unless you have parents who are rich back at home, who are, you know, always, like, you know, paying your fees. But if you're expecting to be working and, you know, looking forward to sustain yourself, you'll need to stay focused. So I think I'm drifting off a bit with as we were talking about racism. So for me, I wouldn't say I have experienced any kind of racism. I think Australia is actually a really an all-inclusive country, and everyone is welcomed, everyone is treated with respect, everyone is treated the same. So yeah, you don't need to be scared that, you know, if I go to Australia, will I be, you know, be treated some kind of way? You might, you know, you might hear, you know, one thing or the other, but it's not that, it's not something that, it's not that serious. So you don't need to be scared. Okay, guys, until next time, see ya. Itanimalizia mo nini? Naenda home sahi.
Nini? Kopia. Chroma kopia.
Obama toka. Na nitakupost.
Listen to it, guys.
Wende upendangi nini? Upendangi ati
eka hiyo kwa channel yako, tuna ita blow up.